Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you'd like to. Um, so 90 Day Fiancé the other way. We saw Jenny heading back to India again. The only thing she's requiring of him is get a divorce, don't lie, and get married. Pretty much in that order, I hope. Anyway, he's going to the airport and he says he's very lucky she's giving him another chance, which is true, yeah, because he lied and, she pretty much gave up everything last time to be there. So that's why she was sleeping on her daughter's couch. Anyway, he has found them a home, but it's 2.5 hours away from the airport, and he says it's a lot cheaper there, so he can save money, because he still has to pay on his divorce. His parents are helping him, but, I'm sure they want him to come up with some of it. So then we see Armando, and he decides to finally talk to his parents. Now, he tried telling them 3 years ago he was gay, and it's not accepted down there like it is here. They were very upset. I mean, they cried, everything, and I guess I can understand it if it's not as well, it's not as accepted, and I don't know, do they think it just doesn't happen to anybody there? I don't know. But his mom, of course, cries, but she hugs him, and she says, you're still our son, no matter who you decide to love. Dad says their pride didn't allow them to see reality, but he's accepting it now, too. So he takes it a step farther, says, hey, I found someone I want to be with, and we're going to move. But we will come visit, meaning all of them, not just him, but they're going to have to accept the partner, too. Talk about throwing everything on him at once, but yeah. Okay, then we see Devin, and the kids and her mom are going to Korea to see Jahoon. And she's scared to rely on him, because he was another one that, he lied about having income. He didn't tell her a lot of things. Yeah. So Dad takes them to the airport. And I'm not going to dish on the kids because, they're innocent bystanders. They just happen to be there. But Drusilla's 4 years old and she has a baby bottle. I know things have really changed, but, don't they still say don't give them a bottle that late in their development because of their teeth? And, yeah. Well, I don't know the reasoning, but, hey, whatever. So Yazan is excited to see Brittany. His family isn't sure they're a good match. I think his family's right. His father wants to know if she's converting to Islam. And that's kind of a deal breaker, with the parents at least. Yazan has mentioned it to her, and she is not excited about that at all. She changes the subject. She has no intention of doing it. So he's kind of lying to his parents too, and not exactly saying, no, she isn't. Unless he thinks he can talk her into it. I don't know. He says, yes, she will. She must wear the hijab. And Dad wants to know, did she bring her divorce papers? So they knew she was married, apparently. She remembered that part. She just didn't think about telling them that she hadn't gotten divorced. So, yeah. So they're really pushing this marriage. He says they've spent about 40 days together in person, but she wants her to know him and his culture better. At least Dad says bring flowers when you go to pick her up, so that's a plus. Dad isn't totally rude. So then we see Ariella going to Ethiopia with her mom. Now, her mom is a nurse, as we know, has been for about 35 years. So she brings like a goodie bag of medical things to take with them. Some syringes and different little on and end things that she thinks they may not have. So one of them brings up the epidural. Well, Mom says she isn't qualified to do that. She's really scared of the epidural because it does deal with your spine. Excuse me. And she says, it's very risky when people start poking around your spine, which is true. So Ariella says goodbye to her nephews And, they're really sad to see her go. One of them doesn't even give her a hug. And her biggest fear is if things don't work out, that she will be there without family. Well, I'm sure her family, her mom being a nurse, her dad being some kind of cardiology business type person, I'm sure they could have the money to get them back home if they had to, but that is her worry. So then we see Jehoon, and he's out to eat with his friends. And he says Devin has given him one last chance. So he's gotten a part-time job, which is a far cry from what he's told her, because he's leading her to believe that he's making $6,000 or $7,000 a month, and it's about half that. And, that he'd be able to support them. And his friends are saying, seriously? You can support 4 people on that? And he says, well, she paid rent the first month. Okay. Now his friends are saying, you're making Korean men look bad. And Jehoon even brings up working a second job, and his friends are saying, we've known him for a long time. They don't think he can do 2 jobs. I think they're surprised he even has one. That's really sad, but they seem really surprised he's putting any effort in this whatsoever. So, but Jenny and Summit finally get home after a 26-hour flight and another 2.5 hours in the car. She's tired and she wants to go to bed, but there's people there for a housewarming ceremony. Summit says, this is tradition. This is, to keep all the bad out of our house, only the good in our house, the health, the wealth, house blessing type thing. So first they wash their hands, then she carries a flower pot on her head and walks in the house. That is just what I would want to do after a long flight and a long car ride. Yeah. And she says there's people starting a fire in the house in a little fire pit. And then a cow comes in for good fortune. So finally, it's done, so she can go to sleep. And she says, she likes the house even though it's old. And he says it's cheaper than the apartment that they had, even and older than the apartment that they had. And he says, we have to make do for now, but you must be careful here because it's dangerous. And that kind of woke her up a little bit, dangerous. We had a security guard outside our apartment, and he says, yeah, security guard here is our gate, So be very careful, very high crime. So Brittany arrives. She says she thinks she can corrupt him with her thoughts and feelings. He brings flowers, but he's planning on changing her to his culture. Now, isn't there like a saying that you don't ever marry somebody if you don't like the way they are? If you plan on changing them, don't do it. And here they're both thinking they're going to change the other one. Okay. So they're leaving the airport. He can't stay the night with her because they're not married. And the producers and the crew, stop them and I guess introduce themselves. I don't know. And she runs up and hugs them. And while she's doing this, he sees a bottle of alcohol in her carry-on bag. And he just goes ballistic. He's flipping out, saying he's an idiot and she can't drink and she doesn't care about the culture. But yeah, he's just like carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. And you can drink there. Now, the strict Muslims can't. But if you're not a strict Muslim, you can. It's rare, and you don't run around, drunk in public or anything, but there are places, where you can go and drink. So she's not Muslim yet, and she probably never will be. So he says, she doesn't care about his culture and just ranting and raving. And she's like, wow, if this is how he's going to be, I'm kind of wondering why I'm here. Well, I think this is how he's going to be. If you don't give in, he's going to be pitching these little hissy fits quite often. So if it were me, I'd be calling Dad and saying, hey, give me a ticket. I wouldn't even bother leaving with him. I would just hop right back on the next plane and get out of there. Because this is not going to work. Not going to work. And you always have these people, you always, when you first start watching the season, you always pick, oh yeah, I like this one and I don't like that one, and so on and so forth. And I like Brittany. I like her. You know, she's very vibrant, very live. And honestly, I liked him too, you know, just because of his culture. You know, he seems very good looking, and I think he's in love with her. But, you know, they've got a long way to go to hit a happy medium here. Anyway, thank you all. I will see you later. Bye.